Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And this is our non-spoiler review for Trolls Band Together. Poppy and Branch are now officially a couple, and as they grow closer, Poppy discovers that Branch has a secret past. He was once a part of her favorite boy band, BroZone, along with his four brothers, Floyd, John Dory, Spruce, and Clay. However, BroZone disbanded, and Branch has not seen his brothers since. John Dory re-entered Branch's life when his brother Floyd is kidnapped for his musical talents. So now it's up to Branch, Poppy, John Dory to reunite the brothers and rescue Floyd. Now, I know Trolls is technically marketed as a family-friendly movie. A kid's movie, if you will. And we've seen them. It's adorable. It's super cute. The songs are great. Really enjoy it. But I feel like this third movie is not targeted for kids. It is targeted for the people who grew up in the 2000s during the era of the boy bands, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and etc.
And they make a lot of references to boy bands throughout the entire movie. But honestly, that's kind of been the theme of these movies from the beginning.
Yeah, that's
is
true.
The fact that, yeah, it looks kids, family, fun, goofy, silly. But, for example, the first one, when I watched it the very first time, I was like, this is kind of dark in some parts. And well, they had a lot of... DreamWorks does this pretty well, where they have a cartoon that is kid-friendly, but secretly they have jokes that go over the kids' heads, and the parents are like, I get that reference. You know, Shrek did that really well. Puss in Boots does that really well. And Trolls movie definitely does that really well. And they know their audience, and they spoiled their audience in this, in Trolls 3, band together.
And that's not to say that, you know, the kids are going to walk in and not have fun because it's too heavily on the references of boy bands and etc. It's really not that at all. Like, obviously, they still put kids as a priority. The colors are bright. The animation is great. The songs and, you know, the arts and everything of the whole world of Trolls is still super fun, and that's consistent in Trolls, the first one, the second one, to this third one. But what makes it, I think, extra special with, you know, Justin Timberlake being involved as Branch, that sort of helped bring the band together. And there is a whole huge emphasis on, you know, NSYNC got back together to record a new song for the movie. They talked about it at the VMAs. The fact that Branch was secretly in a boy band growing up, and that, but like, and you kind of get to discover his past, which I think is kind of great because we didn't really get much of that in the first two movies at all, and we're all finding this like out now. You're like, oh, well, that's quite a conversation opener had you like opened with that. Like, I was in this boy band and then we disband and I haven't seen my brothers ever since, and then like there's some a little bit slightly darker moments in there as well.
And fortunately, you know, Branch is kind of that character that is, you know, he's not very forthcoming about his past. So it does kind of work that this is something that he would have put behind him. You know, when you see the movie, you'll see kind of why he's kind of like, you know what, those are in the past. I don't want to deal with that anymore. And I feel like they took a cliche of taking something that is secretly in your past and you don't want to talk about it and make it fit and be able to pull it off very well. It's not the fact that they do a cliche, it's always how do you pull off the cliche, and do you pull it off in such a way to where it feels fresh and it fits within the world. And I feel like they did a great job on doing that.
Yeah, and of course, you know, Trolls has always been about the music, and I feel like the songs are just, and you know, in each movie too, it's like they have a specific sound, but each movie, like, the overall sound also sounds a little different in each movie. Like, they don't try to repeat that same. So this one, like, you know, I kind of said already at the beginning of this video, really drove home that emphasis on, like, boy bands. But it wasn't all boy band all the time. There's other, you know, like, jams in there that when you hear it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. So the mashups are great, but I fully appreciate them, like, straight up putting NSYNC songs into the where I was, and it's just so fun because you hear it and Justin singing it, you know, I I just had a lot more fun than I was expecting to have in Trolls 3. But I also love that Trolls as a franchise exceeded my expectations as far as success goes. We saw it just kind of skyrocket in the era during the whole COVID lockdown thing, when every other movie was kind of, everybody was obviously shuttered. We don't like to talk about that because it was just not a great time to live
It was
through.
one of the one success story that kind of came out of COVID.
With streaming and everything.
Yeah, and everyone was like, wait, what? They're actually making good money off of just putting it on streaming? But that was the kind of movie that did do well. It's the fact that we have our kids home the entire day, and we're all stuck inside the house. Hey, let's just buy Trolls 2 and watch it. And I think it just happened to be the perfect product at the perfect time to be able to pull off in a brand new way.
Yeah. So the story this time, it really does focus on Branch and his path and his journey and his arc and all that stuff. But we also get, a lot of exploration that has to do with family and the grudges that you may hold, and sometimes the past isn't easy to forget or forgive, and it takes time, and sometimes some third party person like Poppy, who is like always wants to be super helpful,
obnoxiously so,
to kind of make people realize, make the brothers realize, oh, you're right, we're focusing on the past so much, we're not focusing on the right thing.
Yeah.
And the right thing is they need to rescue Floyd. So Floyd is kidnapped because a pair of pop sensations really, they don't want to work for their success. They're talented enough, but they don't want to work for it. They want to take the easy route. So what's the easy route is to steal
someone's talent.
Steal someone's talent. And that is sort of the journey. So it was really fun also to see sort of the villain side of things. They didn't give them that much. Like, they focused on them enough to kind of give us the complete story.
Not very complex characters.
Not
but
very
they
surface level
still
villains.
fun.
But they're still fun. I said at one point, because they're a duo, it reminds me of a little bit of like Team Rocket.
They were a little Team Rocket, a little like, they were still fun and entertaining to watch. But
and the songs are fun.
And the songs that they do, they really hammered home a few songs. Don't get me wrong, I love the songs, but a part of me is kind of like, haven't we heard this song before? But it does kind of bring back to the fact of they're kind of hacks. So they are, of course, they're copying IPs, they're taking other people's ideas. Oh, this was a huge success, let's take it and use it as our own. Yeah. But in the center of this, the heart and soul of this movie, it's pretty much a road trip, the band getting back together, and getting your family back together.
Yeah.
So I thought at the heart of it did that storyline pretty well.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to admit, I wasn't as into NSYNC and boy bands. That wasn't my jam back in the late 90s, early
2000s.
So early 2000s. However, this young lady right here, that was, from what she's told me, was her world. Half of the joy, actually I'm going to say more than half of the joy of this movie, is just looking over at Wendy going, yeah, just completely,
but contained. Okay, we're in a theater, so we're
there
contained.
Were some people who were not contained.
But it's a kids movie.
But yeah, true. We had lots of kids in the theater, but it was fun to see them kind of rocking out and jamming out. And I was kind of just sitting back and going, this is cute. Oh, this is cute. So be prepared that if you are into boy bands, there is a lot of fan service in this. Oh, yeah. And if you're not, you'll enjoy other people enjoying the fan service.
Yes.
But I have to admit, it was very cute. It was very entertaining, and I think it's very enjoyable for a lot of people to go see, even if you're not if you weren't into the boy band scene. One thing that I do miss is that I wish they would have had a K-pop version of it.
Trolls 4, let's go.
Like, they just had some little sprinkling of...
They've touched on it before, but I want them to, like, lean into it, like, really lean into it, like they did for this one. Yeah. So with that said, should we give our rating for
Sure.
Trolls Band Together? Our movie couple rating system is listed in the video description below. Look, I had way more fun than I was expecting to have for Trolls Band Together, and I already knew that they were gonna go hard with the boy band theme, and I think I was just surprised how much that I felt so happy to kind of like relive that like early 2000s nostalgia. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a check it out. Definitely a family movie. Like Dustin said, if you're not into boy bands, it doesn't mean you're gonna feel alienated by the film's topic, because overall it's still consistent with the Trolls world and the stories that they have already told. So if you enjoyed 1 and 2, you will enjoy 3 as well.
And I have to admit, even though, yes, I am not into the boy band scene, I did not really listen. I don't have a single NSYNC, Backstreet Boy, any of those CDs. It was still fun to enjoy. It was still fun to watch. The colors, the characters, some of the slapstick comedy. So I'm going to give it a matinee it.
There you go, you guys. That is our thoughts on Trolls Band Together. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. There's also a video from the Animation Film Festival that's taking place in LA, which is where we saw
Animation is film.
Animation is Film Festival, and the filmmakers for Trolls Band Together was there, and they did a Q&A after the screening. So there's also a separate video on that if you would like to watch. Go ahead and click this link right over here, and I'll link it below as well. So thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.